Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Now what I've got for you today is a ZERG versus ZERG where we find ourselves on the map Ephemeron. Spawning here in the top left hand corner, playing with the blue ZERG drones. From South Korea, we're looking inside of the main base of Armani. Now I know some of you may be wondering, Lowko, Armani, the clothing brand? No, not the clothing brand. As a matter of fact, I just had a quick Google search, right? And if I'm not mistaken, I've never actually casted a game where I featured Armani before. Here's the thing, for most of the videos that I end up posting to this YouTube channel, I cast several matches. So I only try and post the very best games that I cast, so that way you're always guaranteed of watching an epic game, right? And here's the thing, I've certainly casted games of Armani before, but I guess I never posted any of those games to the YouTube channel. Either that or I'm an idiot and I couldn't find it myself. At this point, the archive is literally thousands of videos. There's a lot of videos on this channel these days, but I'm pretty sure that I, at the very least, well, either never casted a game of him before or did like one, maybe two, way back in the past. Regardless, this guy's very good. As of me making the video, is the rank 28 in the world, the rank 11 ZERG, so he's far better than some of the guys that I cover very regularly here. Yeah, in case you're unfamiliar, just take it from me, he's very good at playing with those ZERG pieces. His opponent in the opposite corner with the red ZERG drones. I know for a fact that I've casted games of this man before, but also probably not nearly as often as he deserves. We're looking inside of the main base of Impact. Alrighty, so I was thinking about it for a little bit, right? Why would it be that I don't cast nearly as many of these two players as they probably deserve, right? Why don't I cover and feature their games as often? The theory I've come up with, and yeah, feel free to theorize down below in the comment section as well why you think this is. Both of these guys love playing the standard game. Both of them love going for those macro-focused matches. And the thing is, when it comes to just playing super solid, straightforward macro, I usually cast games of like the Serals of this world, right? The Raynors of this world, the Rogues, the Darks, right? Those guys that are very good at playing the game and probably a little bit better at playing like the so-called standard style. I think that's the reason. I think whenever I get the choice, I will probably go for some of those guys that are, you know, just very, very well known. But I guess that's also true in just the regular, you know, the regular sports world, right? I can imagine that most of the time, if you're like the rank 11 or, well, in Impact's case, the rank 13 in that specific race, say if you're the number 13 Terran, or a tennis player rather in the world, not the Terran player, but if you're the number 13 tennis player in the world, do you get featured very often? I have no idea how it works, but it really feels like StarCraft is exceptionally top-heavy. Anyways, very standard opener right here from both players, although I say that, and immediately Impact does start up a lair. No third base or anything along those lines just yet. Look at this, actually. These queens are on the hunt. They really want to kill one of those overlords. This is so aggressive. I guess the fact that Impact really scouted super early that his opponent took a third hatchery immediately allowed him to go for that lair. Did he get Zergling speed? Wow, okay, actually, hold up. I looked at the build orders and I looked at the production tabs and everything looked kind of normal, but now that I look at it a little bit more closely, there's no denying that Impact is playing exceptionally greedy. He's already taken the second gas right now in the main base as well. Ooh, Armani actually scouts right here, and he sees that there's no lair yet in the main base, which is normally where players take it, but I think that this is a super quick Muta opener. It almost has to be, right? There it is, Spire, yeah. He's got so much gas already. Oh my god, this actually could be a disaster really quickly here for Armani. Most ZERG players would opt to get their, you know, their lairs inside of the main base, especially when you're going for a super quick lair, because this is super easy to scout. Well, there it is. It does get spotted at this moment, so he should know that there's a good chance that Mutas are going to be flying the map here. He also saw the lack of Zergling speed, but I guess this doesn't necessarily mean, though, that it is going to be Spire play. It could also, for example, be like a Nydus Worm, right? Nydus Worm would not be odd whatsoever. Armani is going to scout once again. I think he's probably going to sacrifice this Overlord. No, not quite. Well, he won't see the Spire then. He sees the lack of Queen here, so if I was him actually at this point, right? So here's what he's seen. He sees a bunch of gas, he sees this wall up over here, he sees a really quick lair. I would get really worried that it could be like a Nydus Worm. I would really be worried about that. Instead, though, he's already started droning again, so apparently he knows, well, if it wasn't Nydus, I probably would already be dead. I'm gonna try and see if I can headbutt through this front, like, front section here of the map. Now, look at this, by the way. Impact did start up the Roach speed upgrade. I think that is mostly just a little bit of cheekiness. Oh my god, he denies the scout in the main. That's crazy. I think he just, like, got the road speed upgrade going for a little bit here, trying to, like, you know, show his opponent that he's getting that research. Ooh, a couple more Zerglings actually now managed to walk in. You should go for the main, dude. There you go. All right, all right. Armani will figure out what's going on when the Mutas, though, are already underway. Going for the road to upgrade is a little bit of a cheeky one. In the meantime, though, Impact did manage to finish up his Zergling speed as well. Now, sends a couple of those links across the map. Finds a queen, which is very nice. Getting any damage here whatsoever is really good, especially when it comes to anti-air. That does mean that the Mutas are out at, like, the 5-minute mark, right? So, really early Muta play. Is there much that you can do right now if you are Armani? I mean, you can't really go for, like, a... You can't really go for very much, I guess, right? I guess you can, like, try and buy time with these Zerglings, which is nice. But I don't expect he's going to be able to deal that much damage. I was a little bit worried for his mineral line here earlier, but I think actually with these aggressive moves that the player in blue is making so far, he's buying enough time to get himself like an answer here. So he's already got the lair, he's going for Spore Crawlers. It always kind of worries me when you see the Spore Crawlers go up this late, but I guess he knows exactly what it is that he's doing. He will be able to figure out what exactly is going on. Now, at this point, Impact doesn't know if it could, for example, be like a Nydus play as well. So he needs to leave those Mutas at home. Yeah, look at this. He's scouting around the edge of his main base, making sure that there's no Nydus Worm anywhere going up. Especially when an Overseer sneaks by like that. It could definitely be a Nydus network, but not going to be the case so far. Armani just playing super safely, going straight into the Infestation Pit and then also the Pathogen Glands upgrade. So this is the energy upgrade for the Infestors. I guess what he wants to do, judging by everything that he's doing up to this point, yeah, is just simply sit back. I think he just wants to play super defensively. So, if you get a nice fungal growth off, right, on these Mutalisks, you can deal a lot of damage. You can actually chain fungal them as well and just sort of, you know, pick them off over time. Now, this used to be the standard approach, actually, to mass Muta play. Players would go for, well, once again, another what's it called? Another Overseer. Players would go for Overseers all the time, or rather not Overseers, Infestors all the time to try and counter Mutalisks. But over time, I mean, fungal growth has really been reduced in strength. Back in the day, it was a 100% root, so it will deal damage, and then it was also a 100% root to the units that were affected by fungal growth. And secondly, it was an instant spell. So over the years, they first nerfed it by making the little, you know, fungal growth ability a projectile. So initially, it's a projectile that flies across the map. And nowadays, obviously, you also have the fact that it's no longer a complete root, a complete freeze of the units, but it's instead going to slow them down. So most of the time, I mean, chain fungals, they're really difficult to achieve because even when you land the first fungal, you can still split the mutas, right? And it's really difficult to continuously deal damage. Okay, so what exactly is the plan right now for Impact? So one of the things that we've seen quite a bit whenever players go into Muta play recently is them transitioning towards Hydra Lurker quite quickly. This is actually one of the styles that I've been playing quite a bit myself. So I've been opening a lot of Mutas in ZVZ, and then I've been transitioning towards the Hydra Lurker style. Usually you want to go for about 15 or so Mutas and then make that transition. Ooh, massive fungal, by the way, coming up. Can he complete the chain fungal, though? That's the real question. Those Spore Crawlers are dealing quite a bit of damage. Can he get one more fungal right here on these Mutas? He can. Mutas do regenerate super quickly outside of combat, and he actually gets out. Okay, that's huge. These Mutas, you blink twice, they're going to be back at full health. Well, maybe a little bit more than 2 times, but 19 Mutas at this point in the game. I wouldn't mind seeing the transition here whatsoever. You got to be so careful, though. He's trying to go after one of those queens once again. Infestors just barely have enough energy here for fungal, but he decided not to. At the same time, the Zerglings are moving forward. They've actually now killed 23 drones, which may very well be the reason why we don't see the, you know, the fungal growth right there on the Mutalisk, just because he had to focus his attention elsewhere. Now, this is a big snipe. Getting the Hydralisk then is going to force Armani to be even more passive. So he's not making a transition whatsoever. He's just going for an all-out assault right now against the player in blue, trying to force him out of the game, trying to utilize that bigger economy that the Mutalisk player has had here for a little while already, as he did secure the 4th base here on the left-hand side of the map. And that's, I think, the real strength here. So most of the time, Muta styles, they don't play particularly efficiently. Oh, big fungal once again, man. Can the Hydras now close it out? I mean, he should be able to pick up most of these, right? Nicely done. Well, Takes so many fungals, actually, to kill anything. Once again, though, drones are falling left and right. The Wolof not quite done. Armani is now forced to deal with Zerglings inside of the main base once more. And this is an absolute disaster. So, Muta styles, this Lingbane Muta army, usually doesn't trade efficiently. It doesn't. But since you mine more than your opponent, oftentimes you can overrun them. Plus, you obviously have full map control, so you can deny fourth bases here for basically as long as you have the Mutas and the Zerglings roaming the map. And that's the real strength. Eventually, Armani is gonna need another base. Now, one thing you can do if you're the defensive player in this situation is go up towards a hive and try to get yourself Vipers out. So Vipers, they have a spell called Parasitic Bomb. Parasitic Bomb deals 120 damage to flying units. And, well, guess how much health these Mutas have? They have exactly 120 life when they're full health. Now, they do regenerate some health as well while Parasitic Bomb is going on, so you can't quite finish it with just one Parasitic Bomb, but it usually does allow you to get that sort of like Death Ball army that you need in those kinds of scenarios. So Armani did apparently once again reproduce the Hydralisk Den. He also now is going for the Lurker Den, but he's running out of money. In the meantime, Impact is also starting to, like, well, just continue upgrading his units, and he's really just trying to lay down the law here, going for wave after wave after wave of units, really throwing away so much. Once again, look at this. The Banelings, man. He doesn't have Centrifugal Hooks done yet, the Roly-Poly upgrade. It's not done at this point, but he's trying to distract his opponent with these Mutas and then just walks in with these Banelings. These Banes right over here will likely not get too much done. Drones do have to run at the same time, though. The Natural is in a little bit of trouble. Impact playing so aggressively now with +2 melee done. He can one-shot these drones. 28 more workers, or 21 rather, do end up falling. And this is going from bad to absolutely worse for Armani. Now, the limiting resource here is not so much minerals. Armani needs to mostly focus on gas income right now. So when it comes to the ultimate unit composition in ZVZ, it's all about Hydra Ling, I was going to say Hydra Ling Bane, but it's all about Hydra Lurker Viper. It's Hydra Ling Bane in many other matchups, but Hydra Lurker Viper kills everything. Brute Lords can be abducted. Ultralisk just get murdered by Lurkers. Hydra Lurker Viper is the go-to, endgame unit composition, right? If Armani can get to that point, there is a chance that he can come back into it. But most of the time, it's hard to avoid. Oh my god, no. Once again, man, so many Banelings wasted here. Most of the time, this is super difficult to afford when you're only on 6 gas geysers. So losing some drones here, really not the end of the world, especially when your opponent trades this inefficiently for it. Love the Lurkers here. The Lurkers provide so much value. Love the amount of Spore Crawlers here as well, keeping those Mutalisks at bay. Look at the resources lost up to this point. 2,000 more resources have been lost here for Impact, but I think he wants to lose even more. The longer that this goes on, the worse it becomes though, right? I mean, this Zerg army for Armani, it's not that many roaches anymore. It's now transitioning towards, I guess, Infestor, Lurker, Hydra, which is a very potent unit composition, especially with these spores. He's playing super defensively. Now, he doesn't see these Banelings coming in until right now, but there's Lurkers. And, well, good response time actually right there by Armani as well. Ooh. Yeah, absolutely shuts that down. And Banelings are not cheap units. Banelings are not cheap units whatsoever. So you can see the gas count right here that's lost, which is the most important resource in ZVZ. It's really starting to go heavily in favor of Armani. So despite him being a full base down all this time, I don't think he's necessarily in the worst position ever. Now, once again, the Mutas, they're trying to go in like a long limbo line towards the main base. A bit of an awkward move to make. Wonder if Banelings will once again be morphed in here as well in just a little bit. The Hive is done. We see the Seismic Spines upgrade coming up as well on both sides of the map. That's the Lurker ranged upgrade, so that allows the Lurkers to deal even more damage from a longer distance as they get more spikes out of the ground. The Mutas, I guess, were mostly just on a little field trip. They went in a long limbo line. All the way to the top left and then towards the right. I don't know exactly what the goal was, but these Mutas really do fall off as the game goes by. Look at Impact though. He's been making the call here to transition towards Hydra Lurker a little while ago. And this unit composition is very scary. Now up to this point, Armani has been stuck on 3 bases all this time. His main base is running out, his Natural's running out as well, and his third will also be out of money very quick. He is going to go for a Nydus network, which I do really like, but how are you going to get a unit past any of these enemy lines? How are you going to sneak a unit towards, like, say, your opponent's third base or something, right? How are you going to do that? A Changeling, I guess, is a good option right here. Ooh, Fungals, Fungals, Fungals. Beautiful Fungals, actually. The Vipers are now available as well. They don't have energy for Parasitic Bomb yet. A lot of damage is being done. At the same time, Impact is going to start pushing forward. Ooh, very risky move, though. He cannot see the lurkers of his opponent. Right now, with the Overseer coming closer, he does see them, but he's going to be forced to retreat. Mutas, well, I mean, they have mostly fallen, it looks like. Excellent multitasking there by Armani. And you know what? Oh my god, there's a Nydus network now going up inside of the main base here of Impact. Impact has had, oh my god, he's had this game under his control the entirety of it, right? He's been in the driver's seat for like the first 15 minutes. And all of a sudden right now, his main base is overrun. What is he going to do? He's going to commit? Okay, he's going to commit to a push here instead. Sending what seems to be a couple of lurkers back home as well. Main base, though, will be gone here. Hive is made in the natural. A couple mutas that remained are now flying back home. It looks like we have ourselves a base race. A couple of the units, though, do decide to retreat once more as he needs the defenses at home. Armani sends back the lurkers, and you know what? There's really not that much detection available here for Impact. He's likely gonna have to retreat once more. Now, Hydras with good upgrades, they can deal so much damage. +2 missile, finishing up right now as well. In the meantime, though, Armani's still working on his opponent's main bases. Looks like he's got enough. Oh my god. Yo, Armani, you were so dead. You were so dead, but it's Chuck. Yeah, he held on. I mean, he hasn't won this yet, though. Supply counts have now been evened up. These Fungals, like these infestors have been providing so much value. Now slowing down his army composition, and you know what? Chokes, that's exactly where those lurkers shine. They deal so much damage when units are trying to like go through like a tight space. Both players are losing a tremendous amount once more, though a huge Fungal does land. Lurkers from the high ground dealing damage to the low ground here. Armani now, for the very first time in this entire game, is ahead in the supply count. Is there enough right now for Impact to force his army to go? Oh my god, the Roach one actually will fall. Lurker Den is also very exposed. Spire will bleed out here off creep at some point. It's going to take some time. There's really not that many drones remaining here for Impact either. He's now forced to go Roaches and Hydras against the Lurker-based composition with freaking Infestors? How is that going to happen? Roach Worm, by the way, is gone right now. Ooh, Impact is going to try and move forward, but the Lurkers are dealing so much damage. Oh, those Lurkers are absolutely murdering all of those Roaches in red. Another Nydus Worm right now is coming up on the left-hand side, and Armani, after being dead in the water for like the first 15 minutes of this game, right? He held on. He tried his very best to come up with a win condition. And apparently he came up with going for a Nydus Worm inside of the main base of his opponent. What exactly was spotting there in the main base? I'm pretty sure it was a Changeling. But hold up. I think it's this Overseer. I think it's this Overseer that ends up dropping a little Changeling that walks all the way across. This is like minutes prior to the ending of the game, though. Wow. I mean, he's trying to figure out what the best spot for it is. I think this was mostly just meant for scouting here initially, to be honest. But then he realized, wait a second. I managed to go all the way across the map. And since like this unit composition that Impact is playing really does force you to look at your army a lot, he doesn't know about this little Changeling. I mean, he knows about it, but I mean, it's just showing up as like a red dot on his minimap, right? I mean, it shows up as if it's one of his units on his side of the map, and he just can't be paying all this attention here. So, just seconds before the Changeling would have died, the Nydus Worm does go up inside of the main base, just barely in the one perfect position where Impact couldn't see it. Super risky move there, but I mean, he had to pull a rabbit out of a hat in order to obtain the victory after being contained on 3 bases, and he did it. An excellent game of ZERG versus ZERG. I hope that you enjoyed watching it. If you did, hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified as soon as I upload future content. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile alright. And I will see you once again in the next one.